everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys about an alternative choice for shit hit the fan weaponry. People have really enjoyed this series and asked me to keep talking about this stuff, and so I want to talk to you guys about something a little bit different that kind of fits the niche, fits the role of shit hit the fans weapons, and that's where we take modern technology and we combine it with older technology when your people are wanting a survival weapon set that's versatile, absurdly reliable, and can be set up on a budget. And that's basically going to be pistol caliber carbine lever guns, which is, something that goes all the way back to the 1800s with a matching handgun. Now, when we're dealing with something like this, people need to understand you're not dealing with the same things we do when we're talking about a 9mm or 45 ACP pistol caliber carbine. We're talking about big Magnum wheel gun. All right, revolver rounds being put through these rifles, and you're talking about a whole nother beast at that point. And the reason this becomes versatile is because you're talking about stuff like, most likely, 357 Magnum. And like I said, my first pistol caliber I ever shot was out of a 357 Magnum Marlin lever rifle. And I killed 3 deer with that growing up. 3 deer with my grandpa's rifle like that. So, totally viable hunting weapon. Or like a 45 long Colt, or better yet, 44 Magnum. All right, 44 Magnum out of a lever gun with an 18 or 20 inch barrel. You have a weapon that is as small and as light as an AR-15, just as maneuverable. Usually holds 10 or 11 rounds, and if you pick one that doesn't have to have a tube removed on the front, like a Henry does, let's say you go with some of the Marlins or a Winchester or something, you can sometimes get these rifles for $700 in a Marlin. And it's insanely reliable, and you can reload it fast through the back. But you have 10 rounds that you can fire with a lever. Is it going to be as fast as a semi-auto? No. But with practice, you can get pretty fast and pretty accurate. You have a weapon that is extremely maneuverable, just like a little M4 carbine is, but with a lot of punch, because people need to understand that. Let's say you're loading something like a 250 grain or 300 grain hard cast lead 44 Magnum, loaded pretty hot out of one of those. You're talking about something that can kill moose and grizzly bears. All right, that is a viable hunting weapon on moose and grizzly bears at 100 yards to use that. So you've got a lot of firepower per shot. Yeah, you've only got about 10 or 11 shots, but you have to reload them one round at a time. But again, when you think about that, that's still a lot of firepower. It's going to be more reliable, and it's going to be cheaper than setting up a good AR. Like I'm saying, $700 you can have a rifle. Another $600-700 you can have a matching Ruger or Smith & Wesson handgun. And again, if you need concealable portable firepower or a backup weapon, it really simplifies things a bit to do something like that, because again, a 44 Magnum with a 4-inch barrel, and to some extent a 357 Magnum if you wanted to go that route, totally concealable, easily carryable. As long as you keep the barrel fairly short, you could carry that around. Just like we discussed before, the role of handguns and shit hit the fan is extremely important, because you're not always going to be wearing a rifle on you all the time. There are going to be times when you need to set your rifle over to the side. It could be 10 feet away from you, 20 feet away from you, 50 feet away from you, because you're doing something else where you need your hands free. You don't want to be burdened with the extra weight of it. Having a handgun on you is viable. Well, something like a 44 Magnum, even though you've only got 6 rounds, that's a hell of a lot of firepower. And it is carryable, and it is concealable. And you have handgun rounds. In this case, you're not dealing with 9mm and 45. You're dealing with much more powerful rounds, particularly if you hand load them a little hot. You've got potential for a lot bigger wound cavities. You've got potential for more penetration, depending on how you custom load them. And really, this combo is for the hand loader. I would say that anyone who wants to go with a combo like this, you do need to be hand loading. But what you're going to find, particularly when you start messing with hard cast lead, and people will say, well, hard cast lead's not ideal for putting people down. No, it's not, because they don't expand. But what happens when you're running a bigger caliber bullet? All right, what happens when you're running a 44 Magnum? A 44 Magnum hard cast lead bullet is going to pass through any human being. I don't care how fat you are, how big you are, even to some extent soft body armor on, it is going to go through you. That's still going to put a 44 caliber hole clean through a person. Bone's not going to stop it. Skull's not going to stop it. Rib cage isn't going to stop it. It's going to keep going. That's pretty deadly. But That same round will also take down big game. All right, you can use it to kill deer. You can use it to kill elk efficiently. Tons of elk have been harvested in this country ethically with 357 Magnum and 44 Magnum with hard cast lead bullets. All right, so you've got a lot of firepower potential. When you start hand loading, even the 44 Magnum with lead bullets gets real cheap. So someone who is on a tighter budget, and they can't afford to set up a $2,500 AR. All right, they can't afford a $2,500 AR or a plethora of weapons, and they need to keep things down to weapons that they can carry on them themselves. This is a hard combination to beat because you just got to have bandoliers full of bullets, or even extra cases with bullets, something you can reach in a bag full of bullets, a pouch full of bullets. You can just loose feed these into these guns, and again, they're cheap to load. Again, if you find once fired 44 Magnum brass, you buy bulk hard cast lead, even big heavy ones, they're relatively inexpensive to hand load. And some of these big Magnums are very forgiving in terms of gunpowder. There's a lot of different gunpowders you can use and still get good results with them. Again, just due to things like capacity versus bore size, there's a lot of different powders that function really well in these. There's a lot of bullets available. And you have the other option of you have another caliber that you can shoot if push come to shove. You have another caliber because all of these big Magnums, the 357 Magnum will shoot 38 special. The 44 Magnum ones will shoot 44 special. So you do have another standardized caliber available. It gives you a lot of diversity. And I think this combination, due to the reliability, the diversity, and the cheapness of it, is something a lot of people need to consider for prepping. Like I'm saying, particularly the 44 Magnum, because you just have so much firepower and ability to take down bigger game. You have a lot of penetration. And again, once you start hand loading, it's not that expensive unless you're going with expensive projectiles. If you want to load a bunch of Hornady XTPs, it's going to cost you a little more. But hard cast lead works damn good in these calibers. And that's the beauty of it. We have this old technology that was dead reliable. I mean, out on in the Old West, matching lever guns with a wheel gun were known for their reliability, stopping power, and everything else. So you've got that reliability combined with modern metallurgy, modern gunpowders. It really gives you a lot more firepower because modern barrel technology, modern revolvers, even the technology's been put into these lever guns and revolvers, they will handle a lot more abuse. They are more durable than they were 50 or 100 years ago. These are weapons that only need to be oiled and cleaned a little bit, and they're going to require minimal maintenance, and you'll be able to fire hundreds, if not thousands of rounds through them out in the field with minimal maintenance on them. These are low maintenance weapons. They're very reliable, and the modern technology's only made them more reliable. And like I said, because of the modern technology and modern gunpowders, you can load these things pretty hot and they will maintain their durability. So you can end up with a lot of stopping power between your combination, and then you're only having to pack around one type of ammo. Your backup weapon, or weapon that you can conceal and stow your rifle away, takes the same ammo. So you're not having to deal with any ammo confusion, magazine confusion. If your rifle stops working or you have a problem with it or you have to drop it or whatever in a firefight or out in the field, your backup gun still takes the same ammo. Then you're not carrying extra ammo that doesn't work for the only weapon you have left. So it really gives you a lot of diversity, a lot of firepower, a lot of reliability. And again, this is very much for people on a budget who are concerned with reliability because push come to shove, a $700 44 Magnum lever gun is more reliable and more durable and requires less maintenance than a $700 or $800 AR-15. Let's just be honest here. It does. It's going to function longer. It's going to function better with less maintenance. So again, with budget constraints in mind, this is a solid choice. And you know what? It's a time-proven choice that has been used for decades by hunters, cowboys, everyone else out in the field. No, it's not as flashy or as tactical as some of the better modern weapons we have, but it's portable, it's versatile, it's reliable, and it's a lot of firepower. And like I said, you start hand loading, I think someone even on a really tight budget could set up a combo like this. They could set up a combo with a lever gun and a good 4-inch barrel revolver that matches for every member of their household. And they could easily load even on a budget as long as they price stuff well. Price gunpowders, get once fired brass, hard cast lead bullets, loading 1,000 rounds or 2,000 rounds for it is going to be relatively inexpensive. It's going to be probably not much more expensive than your cheaper ammo, like your 5.56. Again, as long as you're picky with components about it. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.